Hey y'all, today's objective is multiplying and dividing integers. And just a quick reminder that an integer is a positive or a negative whole number. So we're still talking about whole numbers, not decimals and not fractions. So let's take a look. I just want you to look at something for a moment. We know from adding integers that -2 plus -2 plus -2 equals -6. -2, -2, -2 equals -6. Well, we can rewrite -2 plus -2 plus -2, that's repeated addition, as 3 times -2, and it still equals -6. Therefore, when you multiply numbers with different signs, notice a positive and a negative, different signs, your answer is going to be a negative. So let me repeat that. When you multiply numbers with different signs, a positive and a negative, your answer is going to be negative. It doesn't matter which one's bigger. It doesn't matter which number is bigger. If you multiply with two different signs, your answer is going to be negative. Which means if you multiply numbers with the same signs, that's going to equal a positive number. So if you multiply two numbers with the same sign, that means both positive or both negative, that is going to give you a positive value. So let's take a look at some examples. All right, example 1, -12 times 2. And I wrote a note over here. These are different signs, negative and positive. So you multiply like normal. 12 times 2 is 24, but because these are different signs, that means your answer is negative. Different signs means your answer is going to be negative. You multiply just like normal, except your answer now is negative. Example 2, -25 divided by -5. These are same signs. Look, negative and a negative. So that means my answer is going to be a positive, and you divide like normal. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and two negatives are going to equal a positive. So that's where I get a positive 5 from. So here are a couple of you try. You try number 3 and number 4. Copy the problem down, pause the video, and then restart it when you're ready for me to go on. 18 divided by -3. -7 times -3. So copy the problems down, pause the video, and then when you're done, restart it. So number 3, we divide like normal. 18 divided by 3 is 6. And these are different signs, so my answer is negative. -6. Number 4, 7 times 3 is 21, so you multiply like normal, and these are same signs, so my answer is going to be positive. So different signs means your answer is going to be negative. Same signs means your answer is going to be positive. And that is the important key for multiplying and dividing integers. So what about 3 or more numbers? What happens if you have 3 or more numbers in a problem set? So let me show you. Here we go, example 5. I've got 3 numbers that I'm multiplying. -3 times -4 times -2. So you might look at it and go, oh, well, those are all the same signs, so my answer must be positive. I like the way you're thinking, but unfortunately it's wrong. You have to take two numbers at a time. So let's multiply -3 times -4, and that gives you a positive 12, because a negative and a negative is a positive. And then you bring down your -2. Now we can multiply 12 times -2, and that's going to give us a -24, because these are different signs. So right here we have same signs, but then right here we have different signs. So my overall answer is negative, even though these are all the same. You can only take two numbers at a time. So let's look at example 6. I have 3 numbers, -5 times 2 times -1. Now these are different, so let's take it 2 at a time. -5 times 2, this is different signs. So that gives me a -10. Bring down my -1. -10 times -1, these are same signs, so that gives me a positive 10. So even though I had a negative, positive, negative, that still brings me to a positive answer. So just remember, you have to use two numbers at a time. Two numbers at a time when you're multiplying numbers 3 or more. All right. What about multiplication and division together? What happens if you have a problem that has both multiplication and division? Well, let me show you. Example 7. Negative 3 times 8 divided by negative 2. We have a multiplication problem on top and then with a division problem. So I wrote a note right here. So you do the top first. Negative 3 times 8. Those are different signs. So that's going to give you a negative 24. That's where my negative 24 came. And then I bring down my negative 2. Negative 24 divided by negative 2. These are same signs. So my answer is going to be a positive, and I divide and I get a positive 12. Let me show you example 8. I have multiplication at the top. 4 times 6 divided by negative 3. We do the top first. These are same signs, so that's going to give me a positive. 4 times 6 is a positive 24. I bring down my negative 3, and now I have different signs. 24 divided by negative 3 is going to give me a negative 8. So again, I'm using same signs are positive, different signs are negative when I have multiplication and division together. So you try example 9 and example 10. You copy the problem down, you pause the video, and when you're ready to hear the answers and the explanation, then you restart the video. Negative 6 times 5 times negative 3 times negative 1, example 9. Example 10, 10 times negative 3 divided by negative 5. So I'm going to do those two, and that gives me a negative 30. Bring down my negative 3. And then I'm going to do those two, and these are same signs, so that's a 90. Bring down my negative 1. And then 90 times negative 1, these are different signs, so that's going to give me a negative 90. So I have different signs, same signs, different signs. Example 10, up here at the top I have different signs. So 10 times negative 3 is negative 30. Bring down my negative 5. Now I have same signs. Negative 30 divided by negative 5 is going to give me a positive 6. So remember, when multiplying and dividing, same signs right here is going to give you a positive. Different signs right here is going to give you a negative.